So I am going to try and show you how I did, or one way to do some of the winter images. The color is off on my screen just a little bit because I had to unplug it from my monitor so that I could record. My monitor will not let me do audio. So this is just on my laptop, and the colors are quite a bit more cool than they would normally be if it were connected to the monitor. But this should still kind of show you at least the general idea. I did go on and download some actions from Belleview Avenue, so we'll try those out. I did a lot of the others with just hand edits, and then what I really liked using was this, where is it? I have a color correction, and I believe it's from Greater Than Gatsby. If it's not from there, then it's from Totally Rad Actions. So that's what I was using before, and then I was changing the blend mode to difference. I think it was difference. So we're going to try these, and I'll show you one way to do this. So here is my basic image here. I'm going to go ahead and play this one, this action. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a larger brush. I like to keep my brushes on as soft as they can go, but I'm going to go ahead and I've got my opacity and flow up at 100. Okay, so you can already see this one works pretty nicely. It already looks quite a bit like snow. I'm going to get these big areas in, and then I'll reduce my brush size when I get in closer to the subject of the photo. Okay, so right now I'm not really going to worry too much about if it overlaps her a little bit, because we'll go on and brush some off. I do like for a little bit of the snow effect to overlap, just because then it looks like the light is kind of wrapping around her. So I'm going to go ahead and let it overlap a little bit. You can see it's getting on her hair and everything. I'll go in and brush that off later. Especially you want to watch for halos. Okay, getting a little bit here on her hair. Okay, so there we have a nice little snowy image. I like these. This looks pretty good so far as the action goes. Okay. Oop. Forgot to switch this. So I'm going to change my opacity, or my brush now, to black so I can brush it off. And I'm going to get as close as I can, and then I will go in and brush some of that back off with a smaller brush here in a minute. Okay, so you can see it's kind of leaving a little bit of a halo. So I'm going to go back in with a smaller brush then after I brush this off, and just add so this area here, that's what I'm talking about when I say there's a halo. So just wanted to kind of show you what I meant by that. Okay, so we've got it brushed off of her. I'm going to go back in now with a smaller brush. I'm just being a little bit sloppy today. Obviously you can kind of see. So what I did when I hand edited this is I used the magnetic lasso tool, and I actually went around and kind of trimmed her out of it and then had a layer and put her back on. So this wasn't quite as tedious as this, but I wanted to try these actions out to show you possibilities. So this is not, I'm going to go ahead and move on. This is not very good technique wise, but I just so you can kind of get the effects. So normally, like I said, I go back through there and kind of make sure a little bit overlaps, and then it kind of looks like the light is wrapping around her. So if I wasn't recording this video, I would take more time, but we've already gone up to 6 minutes and I don't want you to be bored. So okay, so anyway, there's the basic idea. Then I went through and made some tone adjustments with some fill layers and stuff, but on here it looks like they already have some winter toning. So before I recorded this, I was playing around with a few of these, and I liked Chili, and then I liked Icicle, and I'm going to go ahead and leave that. I might brush a little bit off her face, so bump this down. Okay, and then I went through, so I have some up here, I believe they're greater than, yeah, they are, it's a greater than Gatsby, the 3 nails retouch. I have one that I can go in and add stuff to cheeks and stuff, but when I was looking through these, this Bellevue Avenue one here has a thing down here already for rosy cheeks. So we'll try that one, because if you're out in the cold, then your cheeks are going to be a little bit flushed. I'm going to go ahead and bump the opacity down and forget to change my brush to white, and just give her a little bit of glow here on her cheeks. Okay, bump that down just a little bit more. Okay, so there she's got a little glow. And then, sorry for my sloppy brushwork, please just ignore that right there. Normally I would have gone in and cleaned up these flyaways and gotten rid of some of this stuff so that we could brush it on, but I don't want to spend time doing that and have you be bored out of your mind. So anyway, there she's got some cheeks. Let's try this winter glaze and see what that does. So I think that just kind of looks like it's just muting the colors a little bit, which I think I like okay, as long as we bump the opacity way down. I'm gonna, okay, the screen's already as bright as it will go. And then, so I went in and gave, on the other image, I put a little bit of this background light here, and I did that with, I sampled a color in here, and then I went into layer, fill layer, and I did a gradient, and you can choose a radial gradient, but again, this one already has a creamy winter light, so we'll try that. And then I'm going to move that. When I was taking the picture, the light was actually coming from this side. So I'm going to use that, move it there. Okay, or maybe not. There we go. And then I'm going to bump the opacity down. And then again, I'm going to go get my brush tool and I'm going to brush it off of her face. I am going to let a little bit of it be on her hair, because normally if there's light it kind of wraps around you a little bit, so I'm not going to brush it entirely off. But there we've got a little bit off of her face. And then let's see, I don't really want to try. So they have this falling snowflakes action in the brush, but when I was playing around with it, I actually like my I've got some overlays already, so I'm going to come through if you want snow, and I will go to place embedded. I went back to my background layer. And then I have all of these here, so I'm going to use, on the last one I did, I ended up using like, I think 5 or 6 of them. So I'm going to move them around. Okay, so I'm going to move it around right here. I'm going to change the blend mode to screen. And then you can see that's there, so I'm going to click OK. I'm going to end up putting a few of them in different spots around here. So then I'm going to go to my brush, make this size a little bit bigger. I'm going to start out at 100% and I'm going to add a mask, get my black brush, and I'm going to just start kind of clicking, get it mostly off of her face. And then I'm going to drop the opacity down a little bit more. Okay, so then we've got that. So then I'm going to go back and grab another one. Go back to our background layer, File, Place Embedded. Try a different overlay. I'll go with this one. Now I'm going to let them overlap a little bit. Okay, and again, change it to screen. I'm happy with that placement, and then I'm going to add a layer mask, and then go back in with my brush and start brushing it off. Drop the opacity down a little bit. Okay, and then I would end up repeating this down here as well, and then I ended up doing one on the other images. I did 1 or 2 more, and so I just mixed it up so that the snowflakes would look nice and random. And I don't actually remember where I got these overlays for. They said AWP, so you could look them up. I like them because they did a nice job of having some depth and field and stuff with the snowflakes. So like I said, I just kind of started layering those to kind of give it a nice effect. And then I resized it and sharpened for print, and then that was it. So like I said, this is a little bit more of a sloppy look. I didn't want to take too long, but this is how I went about. I didn't use the actions, but this is using the actions. This actually looks pretty similar to how I did it. Like I said before, I used my color correction one, and I sampled white from off the blanket and went through there, and then I changed my blend mode to difference. I think it was difference. I need to go back and double check, so I'll double check. But if you don't want to use the actions, otherwise I just went and tried these Belleview actions before I recorded this video, and I liked it pretty well. So, and then like I said, my overlays were from AWP, and I don't remember where that's from or what it stands for. I'm pretty sure that's not really the name of the company, but you can go look up the AWP. I'm sure you can Google those snow overlays. Anyway, thanks for watching.